Well, I think the most important thing is, although digital revolution has been huge, and we can potentially sit indoors or sit anywhere with a computer and watch things online, spend our whole cultural lives online, the reality is that people still have a burning need and wish, passion to congregate together in real time at events. And there's nothing more fun than coming together and learning about something together in one room. There's a great flourishing of intellectual culture through salons and talk events of different types, and the meeting before, the breaks, the drinks afterwards. It's all part of the whole process. But what it's essentially doing is making culture, making knowledge and ideas more accessible. You don't need to go and read a newspaper or again, as I say, go and watch things online. But you have that option to do that later. So it's setting something, it's a trajectory that is setting things in motion. It's a really powerful mechanism.
I know that there's some debate about that and how far TEDx is doing more than just giving a pep talk. But then again, I think pep talks are important. Some messages are worth repeating and some messages are worth to keep short and to provide inspiration. And I think TEDx and TED in general is good at that. I mean, I got a lot of inspiration from some of the talks.
Well, TED is an incredible initiative that has really been unique in bringing to a wider audience the ideas of a whole range of specialist individuals.
I think there might be 1,000 impacts to these events, because you never know who is going to see it, and it's not just the audience which is sitting in front of you. There are people all over the world maybe watching the one right video which gives you a new idea, or to even say, wow, yes, I have thought that for so long, this is the perfect thing we should do.
I mean, the very medium of the internet just it facilitates the widespread distribution of videos are accessible for watching. But I think that also TED on the ground has managed to command impressively scaled audiences too. You actually you get to take part in discussions, or you at least get afterwards the chance to have a drink in the break and talk with your friends about what you've seen.
I know that it's impossible to explain difficult concepts in a short period of time sometimes, because there's so many other factors that come in that people have to leave out for the sake of clarity. But then again, it's TED Talks, not a university lecture, right? So.
Because a lot of the aspects, they're very serious. There are a lot of great innovations and ideas that really have changed people's consciousness. But at the same time, there's some of the best talks have a kind of a strain of humour to them as well. People are they're being themselves they're being very authentic. And TED encourages people to be authentic. They encourage them to step away from lecterns. And in fact, an academic this morning at the Academy of Fine Arts commented to me that there are a lot of academics, if they were subjected to the TED process, they would be shocked, because they have to practice so much.
If it encourages people to dream their ideas, then TEDx has done the perfect job.
I think it can show very well that, knowledge is not something that is just borrowed by an academic sector, ivory tower-like thinking, but it's much more related to very different generations, very different approaches to do what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you have studied or if you have worked. It doesn't matter where your expertise comes from, I guess, and that's something I really appreciate and share, and that would link TEDx to my field, that is public spaces, because there are so many overlaps of knowledge fields that are each one valuable, and to appreciate and support this diversity of knowing is a great issue, I think.
I mean, I think it's hard to say that, oh, you know, you watch this one talk and then suddenly you start changing your life. I think it's very you know how your brain is wired to only accept the messages that we already believe is true. And I think only after a while, after you've seen more and you see this change in society, and I think together as TEDx came up, also change in society happened. I don't think they're necessarily related, but it does show that the times are changing, I think, and that especially my generation, I think, yeah, in that sense, I think for my generation, TEDx definitely helps changing the way that we view the world, and that it empowers. I think many of us, I know that in some way at some point it probably empowered me, even though the effect is probably not, you know, directly there. But at the same time, TEDx doesn't reach everybody, right? It reaches a certain group of people, a certain societal class. And I guess that's so problematic because it's catered. I mean, if you look at the lineup for tonight, there's so many scientists, people explaining concepts that have no meaning to most people in life because it's not relevant for them, because they have way other things to struggle with. So in that sense, I think TEDx is kind of elitist, but it has a good message.